What up, Scam? Welcome to BarVibes with BriceTheFourth, giving out raw reactions and interacting with the masses. No subject is safe. You'll hear the people and the noises, but that's the point because without the people, what's the point? Embrace some vibrations. First and foremost, Phillies are in a motherfucking World Series. No playoffs in 11 years, and once they get there, they do the goddamn thing. The job is far from over, and we're closer to the finish line. Bryce Harper bought his big boy bat for these playoffs, as they sure be, and all this shit that they talked about our bullpen, you can fuck right off. The Astros are playing well. We are playing them, moving forward in the World Series, and, it's obviously something to be of concern with, but fuck that. Me no concern. Let's get it done fighting. Smash that goddamn bell. Gotta, recap some of this week. Eagles were off, so I was feeling a little relieved, and yet still got some surprises. Seahawks Chargers. Both teams continue to do what they've been doing all year so far. The Chargers, are underachieving even with all the talent that they have on both sides of the ball, and the Seahawks continue to be resilient with a 10-year quarterback. I believe he's 32 years old, who really hasn't had much success in his career, Geno Smith. And they got a stud rookie running back, Kenneth Walker III, making plays. A lot of turnovers in this game, and as always, it comes down to who makes the most out of the back-breaking one. I thought that the Chargers could switch the momentum with the safety, but again, Geno Smith, I have no fucking clue what has gotten to this guy. Like, Goodwin comes up with big plays, first 2 touchdowns of the year. Defense of the Chargers held on as long as they possibly fucking could, but the Seahawks converted some crucial third downs to keep the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands, and there's a big narrative saying like, hey, have we crowned this man a little too early? I mean, it is very early in his career, but he's giving me those Phillip River vibes, and that's not a good thing if you've been watching football for the past decade and a half. Chiefs Niners. Christian McCaffrey makes his debut in San Fran. Thank the lucky stars. And he looks solid as always, as he does when he's healthy. I heard the announcer say that if he didn't know the play, Jimmy G said to him that I will just tell him what the play is. Duh. I said that last week as well, but it's common sense. This game was certainly not about him, though. The Chiefs' offense at this point in the season have more big-time plays than they did at this point last season with Tyreek Hill. So that tells you that the quarterback is pretty fucking good. Andy Reid is an amazing coach, too. And again, Patrick Mahomes is a fucking beast. He works with the tools that he's given him, and he always gives you A-plus work. The GM went out and got viable options, Juju, and they kept Mecole Hardman around, and he's using them. Andy Reid calling 3 TD runs for Hardman was different and effective, and Jimmy G's interception in the red zone was game-changing, especially after a muff punt by the Chiefs. The Chiefs ran up the score, though, in the second half, and the Niners just didn't have that type of offense where they can just go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs right now. Great win for them. Giants-Jaguars. Listen, I don't know who the GM for the Giants is tagged into, but this man obviously made a deal with the fucking devil. And there's no explanation other than that I could think of, because they're winning games in the weirdest fucking ways. The Jaguars literally have, no pun intended, they fumbled this game away. NTN fumbled in the red zone to negate points. And the Jags get the ball back with like 1 minute and 6 seconds left. They got a huge roughing the passer call. They get the ball down, 7 seconds to go, and then you got tackled on the 1-yard line instead of just scoring a touchdown and making it an overtime game. At some point in the Jags defense, you have to understand that Daniel Jones is a poor man's Josh Allen. More likely than not, on a run-pass option, he's going to hold on to the ball because you are not, for some reason, they're just not worried about him running it, but he had over 100 yards rushing. At some point in the game, you got to be like, all right, yeah, he's going to keep the ball. Just wait and tackle him. You should be okay with letting him hand the ball off for 4 yards instead of him just getting the fuck up out of there for 15. Mind-blowing. Every single time, they just did it. The G-Men escaped this game with another win, and I still fucking have no idea how. Packers Commanders. I had a feeling that the Packers are just simply not clicking, and I was absolutely right. I picked this game for them. I picked the Packers to lose just because it was one of those games I'm like, I still don't think that Aaron Rodgers wants to be around. I watched it and I rewatched it, and I don't understand how Green Bay didn't capitalize on the Commanders' horrible red zone offense. They were up 14-3, the Packers were, and then they gave up 20 unanswered points to Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke. I get it. He's a razzle dazzle guy, and he just plays with no regard. It's Taylor Heineke. I don't know if this is Aaron Rodgers asking for more pass plays or the coordinator not trusting their run game, but this is another game where the pace of the game can change if you get a 4th and 1 and not throw the football. Aaron Jones, good. Dylan, good. It's blowing my mind. And Aaron Rodgers, you made a mistake staying in a place that is obvious that you don't want to be there anymore. You took the bag. I get it. But if you just run, it's done. It's okay to leave, Aaron. It is okay. I really feel like he needs to just go. Scary Terry McLaurin had an absolute monster game, and he was stunting on Jair Alexander. That one pass he had in the end zone, and he just, you're not fucking with me, my boy. Curtis Samuel is their Swiss Army knife, and give Taylor Heineke some credit. He had one job to do, and he did it. That's what football literally comes down to. Dolphins Steelers. My biggest takeaway from this game is that Kenny is living up to his last name, Pickett. And it isn't like he's throwing them and making it up for it later. There are interceptions that you just cannot have at that specific time in the game. Like when you need a 3rd down conversion or you need a last-minute touchdown, he just gives the ball away. Yeah, I understand he's a rookie. I get it. That's a thing. I mean, Peyton Manning still has the record for most interceptions as a rookie, but I'm not comparing him to Peyton Manning. You start your career off 2 touchdowns, 7 picks. Not really a good look. Tyreek and Waddle had some opportunities to make plays, but Tua, he came back. He's 4-0 as a starter before when he's not hurt, and they got after the quarterback, the Dolphins did, and they held the Steelers to 10 points. Even when their offense wasn't really getting it going, I also wonder if Tyreek Hill is a little frustrated. His numbies aren't up, and he isn't getting the type of downfield targets that he's used to, so might be a little frustrated. I don't know. Lions Cowboys, I'm sure all of their fans will dick eat, say Dak is back, but the man really didn't do anything. He had 207 yards passing with a garbage time touchdown that they didn't need, as usual, and it was the Cowboys' run game that got them the dub. Also, I don't know who was in charge telling the coaches on the field the challenge for the Lions, but they fucked that up, like terribly. They had one where the first interception that Goff threw, it hit the ground, and they didn't challenge it. And I'm pretty sure that the protocol is that when you have a turnover, you're supposed to review it. Didn't do anything about that. And then the Lions, their first potential touchdown, it got called back to like a half a yard before where he actually pulled the ball out. Even if he didn't get the touchdown, he was a half a yard closer. That's the difference between running a run play and then running a quarterback sneak for an easy touchdown. And of course, they run the ball, he fumbles it, they get the ball back, go down and score. This is the Lions. I don't know. It's like they're doing this on purpose. It really feels like they are doing this on purpose. I don't understand it. I sit here and talk about the woulda, coulda, shoulda for the Lions, but at some point for the Lions, changes need to be made. They give up games in the weirdest fucking ways. Jets Broncos, no Mr. Unlimited for this game, and the result was very familiar. Broncos looking like shit. This was the game. It was not higher scoring, but it was boring as the scoring would show. It was 16-10. A lot of this game was played before the 50-yard line or like right in the middle of the field. So the Broncos kicker not connecting on an extra point and also missing a field goal, very, very, very big, especially in a very tight game. Zach Wilson didn't even have 150 yards passing for the entire game. And then both of them came on one play. Rest of the game, Breece Hall had 10 yards. He had a 162-yard play. And I like this guy. I'm upset that he tore his ACL. That is trash. And I wish the best for him, but that's terrible, especially in your rookie year. Both defenses did play very well. Broncos defense played better than the Jets defense. But the Broncos were not capitalizing on offense against a middle of the pack type Jets offense, and that's why they lost this game. Also, QB play subpar, and with or without Sierra's husband, they still suck. Buddy, my boy. Ravens Browns. This was actually a pretty entertaining game. A lot of great highlights, and the Browns could have actually won this game if the Ravens have forgotten that Lamar Jackson is the most electrifying running quarterback since Michael Vick. They called his number at the right time, mostly on third downs and a lot of third and shorts, and Jacoby Brissett is just not the athlete that the Browns need at the quarterback spot. Nick Chubb reminds me a lot of Adrian Peterson, like the way he runs upright, but he's just strong as shit. And he had a lot of long strides, and you can tell, like, during the course of the game, opposing defenders do not want to hit him when he's going downhill. When you have defensive players helping up an offensive player after they get tackled, ultimate respect. Like, he gets tackled, and then the other team's team is picking him up. Justin Tucker continues to be the very best at what he's asked to do, kick the fucking football. Yo, it's crazy because if you watch highlights and stuff, you'll see him like being like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing what I need to do. That's just me. I'm that fucking guy. And the Ravens remember that running the football is the best thing that they do, and they did it. Ta-da. Texans, Raiders. This is why I said the Raiders are the best 1-4 team I could have ever seen. Because of games like this. If Derek Carr and their team could close games like this, they would be at the top of the division potentially. I understand it was the Texans, I get it, but Davis Mills is giving the Texas front office a reason to believe that moving forward with young Dameon Pierce at running back, who continues to be an absolute monster, they could possibly, have something to build on here. He had a few bad throws. He was helping the Texans team win, but the Raiders decided, let's get dominant in the third quarter. Never look back. Josh Jacobs is toting that fucking rock. I feel like the coach is running him a lot to make the front office for the Raiders be like, yo, pay this fucking guy. Pay him. If you polled me right now, I would say Josh Jacobs is top 3 in the league. Top 3 in the league. They could be seeing themselves in a great spot under the Chiefs if they keep winning like this, because their division is not that. Just saying. But that's neither here nor there. Falcons, Bengals. This one was pretty cut and dry. The Falcons got their asses handed to them, and it wasn't even close. This man, Joe Burrow, had over 400 yards passing, and it was still 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. The third quarter, he had over 400 yards. The Falcons tried to hang around, but the Bengals went up 21. Again, never looked back. I swear, every time I see Jamar Chase, he catches a pass on the sideline or this sideline, and he runs diagonally. Nobody can catch this man. Which also drives me to my my final point, and that was stupid. If you cannot gritty, do not fucking gritty. Don't do it. It's not a dance where you experiment with it. Because if you don't know how to do it, you're not going to be. It's going to be a bad look on you, and the internet is undefeated. Stop front moonwalking all over the field, people. It's not for everyone. Just saying. Cardinals Saints. Just when people started giving Andy Dalton a little praise, he decides to have a game like this. He had 2 pick sixes in 60 fucking seconds. 1 minute, this man threw 2 pick sixes. That is the Andy Dalton that most people are used to seeing. Getting Hopkins back obviously gave Kyler some confidence. Obviously, if you have someone you know for a fact that you can rely on, it makes yourself feel better. Like, I didn't see him. No, I'm just going to throw it to him because I know for a fact that he is open. And also, the Cardinals did a good job running the ball, even without Kyler having a good day. He only had 30 yards on the ground, but he was efficient. He got the ball out of his hands. Hopkins had 103 yards on 10 catches, which is fire for a person coming back after not playing 60 games. And that was pretty much it. The Saints tried to come back. They brought it back within 11, but the game was out of hand. Andy Dalton was very shitty in the first half, and they just couldn't fight back. I honestly don't know what they're going to do when Jameis comes back healthy because they're both not playing well. Jameis was playing with injuries. Dalton's just playing because he's shitty. So, we'll see. Panthers, Bucks. This game made me wonder if every single player on the Buccaneers is currently going through a divorce or if Tom Brady's sad-ass attitude is just bringing everybody down. The Panthers did exactly what teams do when they fire their head coach and then they go out with some new energy and they get a win, and that makes you feel better about the season moving forward. I had no clue that Devontae Foreman was on the roster, and he was probably like, damn, Christian McCaffrey going, I can get some bread out here. P.J. Walker had actually some dimes if you go back and look at the game. He played very solid. Kudos to the Panthers defense. Keeping Tom Brady out of the end zone. 3 fucking points for the GOAT. For the GOAT. He had 3 points. Heard a stat. Shout out to PMT. Tom Brady has only never scored a touchdown in 5 games in his career. Twice in 20 years with the with the Patriots. 3 times with the Buccaneers. That man should have took his ass home a long time ago. Oh, Tom. Mike Evans, you definitely fumbled the bag with that. This man was 20 yards away from the next defender. Put one hand out. Missed a touchdown. Hate to see it. I think that Tom he's definitely dealing with something personal right now, and it's in his brain, and it's not helping his franchise out. The Buccaneers should be better than what their record is, but the fucked up part about it is they're definitely in contention to still win this division. It's crazy. That's how football works. I don't know. Colts Titans. Matt Ryan continues to show you that he simply does not have the spark that he had when he was with Atlanta. It was said that regardless of whether he got hurt or not, after this week he was going to get benched because they're just going to be moving forward, which makes you wonder if Frank Reich's job is on the line. Yes, it's on the line. And that's just that for the Colts. Derrick Henry, I'm trying to figure out why he stopped doing the tight the tight lock ponytail. I have no idea why he stopped doing it. Hey, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go back to it. Maybe you're missing your hairdresser or something like that, but hey, man, should look cool. And just go back to it. He did have a really good day, though. I think he had 168 yards, and he was still very dominant. He was picking up big first downs on third. But with the Colts, it really seems like to me that they might be moving in a different direction, especially when you put in a second-year quarterback in week 8. So it is what it is. This is going to be a wild fall in the winter for sports, especially with the Phillies, especially with my undefeated Eagles, especially with the Sixers trying to make it look like they're not tanking, and I really hope they're not, and I don't think they are, but can't go 0-3. I mean, they won the other day, thank the lucky stars. Union are in the playoffs. I'm not gonna be Philly heavy, but I can't help myself because they're doing well. Knockety knock, getting it done. Big ups to the first day. Stay focused and be great. Take a sip. Much love from the kid. Enjoy your day. Enjoy life. Stay chill. It's extremely up for anybody rooting for Philly sports right now. Let's have it stay that way. BWBIV.com.